Hey everyone! Today I'm going to explain and show you how I set up my weekly spreads. In the previous video I did not explain this spread because at the time I was trying out something else and it ended up not working at all, so I'm reverting back to my trusty weekly setup. And it pretty much looks the same every single week, except sometimes I have more tasks and sometimes I have less, and I waste a little bit more space. But I do like using this space for like a grocery list or notes that I'm going to take out of my journal and carry with me in my purse or something like that. So let's get started on creating this new spread. First, I write down my daily task tracker because the items for that, because that kind of dictates how many lines that this space takes up. Okay, so I'm going to allocate enough room for the header and the margin, and then start on the third grid over. So now that that's done, I come in with my gray marker and I do all the headings. This weekly task, reoccurring tasks, they get 12 squares across, or sorry, not 12, 10 squares across. And then each column to do half the page is 12 with a 2 square margin in between. Then I kind of break these up so that I have like little lines that show where each section stops. So I'm going to put this one right here. And then I kind of just break up the space here. This could be a really cool place for quotes, or I don't know. I just like having the empty space there to create some sort of division from my tasks and my weekly kind of overview up here. So each of these columns, again, are 12 squares across with a 2 square margin. And now I'm done. You know, sometimes I might do another line here, but for the sake of minimalism, I will not. So I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to kind of write backwards. So my days of the week are going to go way up here, just for the sake of simplicity. So it goes Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. And then we're going to do my daily. So I'm going to write that backwards, but I like to count actually. D-A-I-L-Y, because then I don't have to worry about it. And I also like to keep all of these headers justified to the right. So W-E-E-K-L-Y. Now we're back and back and back more. We'll be shining like the stars through the fall. And this Sunday never comes. We'll be standing in the light having fun. And if someday this will end, we'll be standing in the light having fun. For my headings, some people ask me what font I use, and to be honest, I just use the grids as my reference. And so I usually take up, for my headers, I usually take up one full square for each letter, unless it's like an I, then, you know, I don't take up one full square. So if I was going to write August, it would be A, and then I'd leave a half a square space and then do the U, G, August, or the abbreviation for August.
My eyes were as blind as my heart when I was 18. So lost inside the lies of being clean. It was a joyride, the last.
And lastly, I just set up all my lists. And I pull them, you know, off of my little arrows that I'm carrying forward. And if I write something down that, you know that I'm not going to get to this week, as soon as I write it down, I just put a little arrow next to it. Okay.
We're standing on the edge, telling it to the story of our lives creeping in. We're surrounded by all. We'll be shining like the stars until we fall. Now we're back again.
So I'm gonna talk a minute about carrying these forward. So for example, I want to put plastic on the greenhouse, but I know I'm not going to get to it this week. So I'm just going to put my little arrow in there right now.
We'll be dancing like the waves to the shore. Now we're back again, back for more. We'll be shining like the stars to the fall. And if someday never comes, we'll be standing in the light having fun. And if someday this will end.
I feel that when you break down your life into chunks like this, on a spread that you don't see all the time, that's not always in your face, it really helps you to also brainstorm specific areas in your life, so that you know what you haven't finished. You know, like finish my beadwork. I think I have it on here. Yeah. This is a project that I'd like to finish. I have all these projects that are kind of left open-ended, and I don't want to be, you know, that type of person who just abandons projects and never finishes them. So this spread really helps me keep those unfinished tasks in my mind. And I might not get to them for several weeks. I might be continuing to migrate them over to new weeklies over and over and over. But eventually I get sick of that and I say, you know what, I'm gonna check that item off my list. And I move one of those items over to my dailies and I get it done. So that's about it. If you like what you see on my YouTube channel, please be sure to follow me on Instagram. My profile name is Honey Roses with a Z. So thank you.